Hey everybody, it's David, Carolina with you. Here doing part 3 of our restoration of this very nice 43 Martin D18. We've done quite a bit of work with this guitar already. We've made a new bridge for it, and we've reset the neck. That's really the neck reset's really the bulk of the work on this, but we still got a lot to do. Today we're going to be doing the other really big job, which is we're going to do a full refret on this guitar. Not a ton of wear on these frets, but you know, they're just about every fret is kicked up on the end, and there is a little bit of wear, obviously, to guitar this age. So we've got to pull them all out, and we'll put new ones in there. So we're going to pull all these frets out, and we're going to sand this fretboard, get rid of any humps, any imperfections, and we'll put new frets in. That'll probably do it for this video. Then after that, we'll probably do one more part where we've got a few minor little things to deal with. We got a little crack here, new tuners, and just final setup and everything. So we're going to go ahead and start yanking these frets out. First step in our refret here is we're going to take each fret, we're going to heat it with our soldering gun to loosen up, to soften wood fibers, loosen up any old glue and just gunk and sweat that's built up over the years, and we'll carefully work our fret pullers up under there and pull them each out. Kind of hard to see on camera what I'm doing because I'm kind of, you know, my body's going to be in the way. But you know, I have a video on just a refret on a newer Martin on a D28. So if you want to see more up close detail, you can watch that. I actually had a guy holding a camera so he kind of move and get in position better instead of just on a stand. So I'll link to that at the end of this video. But just one of those things that just takes patience. And be very careful pulling these frets out because they can chip, especially on an old guitar with very dry, brittle wood. So we're just going to heat it back and forth a few times. Okay. Take our fret pullers. Sorry, because I'm going to be in the way, but no way around it. Just get up underneath it, start on one end, work our way to the other. Come out fairly easy. Right. And we'll just keep doing this all the way down. These frets have a little bit of work, like they might have been leveled a few times rather than replaced. And they all come up on these. These all need to be took out. But we're going to go back with the same size fret wires I had before, keep it all original. Alright, so we've got all of our frets out. And we've got a few humps, a little bit of unevenness and stuff we need to get rid of, sand out while we have the frets out. The first thing we got to do, we got to plug our hole where we reset the neck. We drilled this hole right here to get heat down in there, and the fret will hide most of it, but not completely. So what we'll do, we'll plug it, and I've just got some shavings of ebony. I just took a chisel and shaved off some slivers. We'll kind of press that down in there a little bit. That's a pretty deep hole. If we just try to fill that with powder or something, it would take a long time to fill up. So we'll just kind of press that down in there a little bit. Fill the whole rest of the way up with right here. This is just ebony sawdust that I've just took a piece of ebony, just took a file to it, made some dust, kind of make sure that's packed down in there a little bit. super glue. I like Zap-A-Gap preferred. Just put a drop right there. I'll just wipe off some of the excess. Put some more powder. Some more flawless right there. Get down in there. A little bit more. Just kind of pack that down in there a bit. Let that dry. Alright, so this is good and dry now. I was going to do video of taking the nut out, but it kind of just fell out when I started messing with it. So no point even showing that. Which is good because these old ivory nuts, these early Martins, tend to be kind of brittle. So there was always a chance you could break it, no matter how careful you are. So the fact it just kind of come out, I just pull it right out. It's a good thing. We want to just cut through this right here. And then we're just going to level this whole fretboard. The fretboard is not a consistent radius all the way down. It starts at about a 10 and then gradually gets flatter. It gets to about 20, about right here. And that's actually normal for a Martin of this age. It was never an intentional thing, but with more handwork being done back then, a lot of times we would unintentionally kind of taper it and end up with a compound radius, which is something that now a lot of makers do on purpose. So we're going to try to preserve that, but we do have a bit of a hump right in here that we need to get out, and just sand this whole thing, get it cleaned up. We'll start kind of on the coarse side, and then we'll with 120, and then kind of work our way up. Using a flat block and just kind of following the radius with my hand rather than using a radius block, because this does have a compound radius, and it's not going to I don't want to change that. It's kind of a common with these old Martins, that wasn't intentional, and it's something a lot of makers do on purpose nowadays, so I kind of want to keep that. It's kind of part of what people like about these old Martins. Keeping our radius pretty good. We'll flatten it out too much. Now we've got to recut the slot right here where this hole is plugged, so we can get a fret back in there. I'm just going to take it just to be careful. I want my hand to slip down to the top. Now we start hammering our frets in. Alright, so we got our fretboard cleaned up and polished. Now we're ready to start hammering our frets in. We start our big spool of fret wire here. So I'm using the same size fret wire as I had before. Trying to keep everything all original. We'll cut off just a little bit more than we need. Okay. I'm going to bend this a little bit past where it was before. I want this to be a little bit tighter radius than our fretboard. It'll flatten out as we drive it down. Otherwise the ends will tend to kick up like it was before. Now we got that. I'm just going to put just a tiny dab of fish glue on each of these fret tangs. These older guitars, a lot of times they don't want to stay in tight. This will help. Hammer in each end. Just flatten that out. Now, I like fish glue for this because it wipes right off. No residue. We'll just take our cutters, snip it right at the fretboard. Alright, and we just repeat this 20-some more times. Alright, so now we've got all of our frets in place. We got to level them, dress the ends, just make them look pretty. So first thing we got to do is got to level them. Notice I've masked off the fretboards so we don't mess up any wood. I've also marked the top of each fret with a marker so I know where I'm cutting. I'm just going to take our fret leveling file and run lengthways, kind of following this radius. and level these frets. Let's check every one of them. Straight edge. All right, so we got these leveled. Now we got to bevel our ends, so we got some really sharp edges here. That would hurt. Let's take our file about a 45-degree angle or so. Alright. Okay, so we got that done. We got our bevel cut in, got them leveled. Now we got to crown these frets because they're all flat on top where I leveled them. So we're going to take our crowning file, we'll mark each fret, then we'll take our crowning file and go over each one to the round again. Alright, so we marked each fret with a marker again. We'll take our crowning file, which is concave there, and I've modified it a little. I took the handle off so I can get up in here easier. But just gonna take this crowning file, go over each one. You see just a little bit of that ink from the marker, just a faint line in the center where I know I haven't lowered them any, but it's pretty much round. Take that last little bit off, rounding with the sandpaper. Alright, now I got to go down each fret here and kind of round these corners off. Get this little bit that sticks out so we don't have a, still got a bit of a sharp edge here. So we got to dress each end with our little file here. Fret work is a tedious process. Alright, now we've done all that. Just got to polish these frets a little bit. pick up 800 grit sandpaper. Lengthwise, just round off in a little bit left. Polish them up a bit, give it file marks. Make it all look nice. Alright. Then we'll take some 1000 grit, excuse me, Thunderbolt. And we'll go across the fretboard with the frets to make the tops of the frets feel a little smoother. If all your tool marks are going this way, your frets move, especially if you're doing string bending, kind of back and forth this way. Your strings move a little bit as you play. You'll feel that grip, that friction. So just polishing the tops, going the other way, helps to eliminate that. Then we'll just kind of even it out with a blending pad. All right, got everything polished up, got tape off. Looks good. Ready to set frets, the guitar will play like new. Well, that'll probably do it for this video. We still got a little more work to do on this guitar, probably one more video. We still have to repair this crack right here, cut our saddle slot, ring these holes out, and just do our final setup. So make sure you like, subscribe, or whatever to make sure you don't miss that. And I'm David, this is Carolina Luthier. I'll see you around.